Darren, the Defeater. A real, unedited, online conversation with Danae, the Christian.
Hello there, Darren. How can I help you?
Hey, I was thinking. There's a large group of people who pray and feel Jesus is divine, and yet another large group of people who pray and feel he's not. Whether he is or isn't, one of the large groups is getting incorrect answers from sincere prayer. So if there's no way to tell if you're part of the correct or incorrect group, then prayer isn't always reliable to determine the truth. Why do you think that is?
Sorry, I am still really thinking about your question. It is a very interesting one, and I can see why that would bother you.
Both large groups have faith, pray, have personal experiences and feelings to come to hold these positions, and one of these large groups is completely wrong in all these sincerely applied methods. So none of these ways can reliably lead everyone to what's true. So is there a reliable method that can get everybody to the truth?
That's a really great question. For me, and I'm not sure if you are going to like this answer, but I feel like faith is a choice. I have prayed about a lot of different religions, and this church is the only one that seems to have the fullness of truth. But I do know other people feel the same strength and conviction in each of their own religions.
But if it is a choice, it must be based on a reliable method to distinguish truth. I'm asking what that reliable method is that people can know they're getting a true answer versus a false one.
That choice must be made by faith. There isn't a scientific method of proof. There needs to be a leap of faith. God knows us, our experiences, hopes, and our faith. God is the judge, based on the decisions we have made, as well as the person we have become.
Then the question becomes, is faith a reliable pathway to truth?
I think it is.
Can't any belief or God, both true or false, be held to be true by a person based solely on faith? I mean, can't someone just believe in Zeus or that Jesus isn't divine on faith?
Like I said, faith is a personal choice.
But is Zeus real simply because somebody believes it on faith?
No, he's not. There is one set truth, and it's not relative to one's personal beliefs. But we each have a choice as to what we choose to believe.
Yes, but I asked if faith is a reliable pathway to truth, and you said it was. Then I asked if somebody believes in Zeus on faith, is that true? And you said, no, it's not. That means taking a god or a belief on faith is not a reliable pathway to truth if it can lead a large group of people to believe in gods that are untrue. It goes back to my initial question. So instead of using prayer, let's just insert the word faith now. So if a large group of people have faith that Jesus is divine and another large group of people have faith that he's not, whether he is or isn't, one of the large groups is using faith to come to an incorrect answer. If there's no way to distinguish if you're in the correct or incorrect group, then faith is not always reliable to discerning what's true. And again, I'm stuck with asking, is there a reliable method to determine what is true?
Not every religion can be true. You want a reliable way to know what is true. Take up Jesus' promise that, by their fruits ye shall know them. The true church has the best fruits. Truth fosters light, goodness, and hope. The real religion fosters the most hope and goodness in its fruits. There's never going to be full-on, attainable proof of God's existence or non-existence in this life. You have to choose your faith.
There are many religions who claim peace and goodness from teachings, regardless of which one has the most good, of which I would not say Christianity is the best. But what does good teachings have to do with the claim that a God exists? How do you tie those two things together? I can't say this movie has the most action, therefore its claims about Spider-Man are true. Just because something is the most action or the most good does not mean its claims about supernatural gods or characters are real. There must be a way to tie those two independent things together if that's what's claimed.
That's true. You cannot say that. I don't actually know then. Wait, do you believe in God? It's hard for me to answer your questions. I feel like you are trapping me in my own words.
I'm an agnostic atheist. Without a reliable way to determine if a god or supernatural beings exist, I think it's the only intellectually honest position to hold. I don't know, but I also don't believe.
Thank you for sharing that with me. I know it's frustrating, trying to discern truth when there isn't a reliable way to do so. But a life without belief is a life without hope.
It depends what you're hoping for. If it's hope to always live, then yeah, there may be no hope in that as an atheist. But if it's the hope that I have that my time on this earth is finite, and I must make every day and decision count to leave this world in a better place than when I started, I have much hope for that. My nephew just learned that there was no Santa, and now his hopes for Santa are gone, but that shouldn't take away his purpose to be good. Sometimes we gotta put aside our hopes and ideas that seem good but may not be true, because ultimately, we should want to believe as many true things and as few false things as possible.
I really respect that. I know a lot of people who have given up God and given up on life. As for me, I need religion. I don't want to give up on God, despite not having real proof. I respect your beliefs, and I'm sorry if I wasn't able to answer your questions. Also, I can't abandon my faith, because I don't think I am willing to take that risk.
I know a lot of people who claim to believe in God and have also given up on life. Purpose in life is what we make it to be, and people can choose to do good or bad, have purpose or not, both with or without a God. If you take two kids out to dinner and they misbehave, and one, you tell him next time he does that he's getting a spanking, but if he's good, he'll get candy, and the other, you explain that his actions directly impact the people around him, and explain how frustrated he would feel if he was trying to enjoy a dinner. The next dinner they'll both behave, but which child is acting good in a more moral sense? The Bible says God will reward or punish us if we act in certain ways, but I feel it's much more moral if we understand that our actions have consequences, and if we gotta live together, then we're gonna have to respect each other and give ourselves purpose without having some ultimate reward or punishment.
I couldn't agree more. No matter what religion we profess to, it's up to you what kind of life you are going to live. And like you say, some ways are better than others.
Would you agree that if somebody claims to have 100% knowledge on something, that there must be an always reliable way that everybody can view this objective truth? If not, they can still believe it, but they must admit they could be wrong. But then they simply believe and don't know. And if they are without 100% knowledge, then they are agnostic by definition.
I don't think any religion can claim to be 100% sure of truth. So I guess we are all a little bit agnostic, or walking by faith, hoping for things we cannot see, but hope to be true.
That's very honorable for you to admit. You're different than most of the believers I speak to. You're humble, honest, and very open-minded.
I really appreciated our conversation today. I think we are learning together, and I might not have all the answers, but I'm trying my best. I appreciate your respect and kindness. I might not know for sure, but I have hope. And that hope means more to me than anything.
I respect that, but if I had to pick between hope in something that may not be real or the truth, I personally would always pick the truth. Do you think somebody that has hope for something could be wrong?
They could be wrong, but they could be right.
And a coin toss could also be wrong or right. But just because it could give a correct answer doesn't mean it's always reliable to determine what's true. And neither is hope, faith, or prayer.
I can respect that. So, I guess from here, I would invite you to continue to do what you are doing. And I'd love to stay in touch with you.